Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is very brief. I'm working on fine-tuning my GoPro 10 settings for night filming. I do have a couple people coming up here, so I'm going to temporarily turn so that I'm not blinding them. Now, my particular application is headlamp and flashlight videos, which is traditionally very difficult for the GoPro. So in addition to sharing my settings, I'm also going to show how post-processing in Davinci Resolve can be used to better enhance the video in order to more accurately represent what was seen with the unaided eye. Now, we'll be coming up on a bridge shortly. The first test is a headlamp. This particular model is putting out about 800 lumens. That's a mix between spot and flood. So in a wide open area, it's going to be very, very difficult to get an accurate representation of what the light looks like. Now, as we get closer to this bridge and we get closer to the trees, we're going to get more light reflected back, and we would expect the quality of the video to improve. So I'm just going to go up here to the bridge, and then we'll look out over the bridge across the creek and see what that looks like. Okay, so we're coming up to an open area here. Out into the creek. And then I'm going to temporarily put the headlamp in high mode. That is approximately 1500 lumens. So that is our first test. And of course, I'm going to share the settings at the end of the video, so stick around. And so let's go on down the path and look at some different examples. Okay, you probably cannot see that less than 50 yards ahead of me there is a line of trees. I can see them, but the headlamp just isn't quite doing the job at this 800 lumen setting. So what I'm going to do now is show you the Odin Tactical from OLight. This is a peak 2000 lumen light, and it's intended as a rifle mounted light, but I have it actually temporarily attached to a Vortex Optics Solo RT for the purposes of a handheld rapid identification system. So that is what the OLight looks like at those trees. Now I'm getting very good detail from this distance, which is about a peak of maybe 50 yards, even out into those trees beyond the first cluster. So we're right at the edge of a creek. If you look down there, there's the creek. Now my headlamp is back on high, so it's approximately 1500 lumens. I'm going to look up into these trees, see how we get detail looking into the trees, and then look at some of them fairly close up, see what the reflections look like. Now, let's just make that insane. I'm going to go from 1500 lumens to over 3500 by using that Odin Tactical again. So I'm going to try to get the headlamp spot and the beam from the Odin to converge on pretty much the same place. Let me move over here. Okay, now we can look back into that area much deeper into the trees. And so this will provide another perspective again, but with about a total of 3500 lumens projected downrange. And we're back to the headlamp, approximately 800 lumens split between flood and spot, and we're just walking through the trees. Now I've temporarily stopped. We are still in between the trees, but this is a much longer stretch. Now I put the headlamp back in high mode, which is approximately 1500 lumens. I'm guessing that, you can't even see any detail in the trees at the curve of the path. So I'm going to bring another light out here. This is the OLight Seeker 2 Pro. That's an additional 3200 lumens in turbo. So this will give you another look with almost 5000 lumens. Well, this is the final test of the evening. The area in front of me is nothing but dirt and trees, and the headlamp is currently back on high, so we're at a peak of 1500 lumens. I'm going to slowly pan it left and right so we can see what it looks like back into the trees. And the final test is going to be a Balder Pro R, and this is currently mounted on my Smith & Wesson M&P 245. I'm going to show the light in high along with the green laser, and the firearm is currently downloaded, but again we're going to be focusing on that area right at the bottom of the creek, and so that's a very safe direction. And I'm going to temporarily turn the spot off on the headlamp. And there we have it, the Balder Pro R. That's on high with the green laser, and that's got to be a good 50 yards. So it's pretty impressive the way that laser shows up. So that is the last test of the evening. I'm going to head on back. You're looking at what is probably pretty insanely dark right now. All right, there we go. We have the headlamp back in high. So it'll be interesting to see how all of these videos show out. I think every one of these tests would be historically very difficult for the GoPro, and so I appreciate your sticking around for the video, and thank you very much.